Hello from hell, and welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. No, I'm not changing my background for anytime soon. Not at least for another four. Not at least for another 4 years. Um, so thank you from hell, and we are going to we're going to have we're going to have a how did Richard Pryor put it one time? We're going to have a wing dang doodle. Yes, we're going to go
Yeah.
get down to the nitty gritty. But tonight is the long-awaited feature for BeYouT, who would have been with us a month ago, but sad turns of events kept her away from us, but no longer. Christmas has finally come to Stone Soup. Had to come some fucking place this year. Might as well be us, and we are thrilled that she's going to be reading tonight, and I'm thrilled that we have a robust open mic for everyone. The Ramnator 5000 is taking account of everyone. Oh, excellent. So we have a lot of people I didn't think were going to read are reading. So we're putting in the names now, and let's start with someone who likes to start off the gates strong and fierce. Let's welcome up the self-proclaimed poet of the East, Mr. Richard Spizak.
Thank you so much, my friends. An honor to be with you. I'm surprisingly enough going to take a political turn. This first piece, I know, shocking, is called the ICC Court, you see. The ICC Court is for thee, not me. What's it really going to do for me? The bad guys got a hold of me. I'm dangling and jangling up a tree. You see, what's you going to do for me? A surprise for some, because, well, justice otherwise is occupied doesn't come. I guess sometimes it's just for some. A very distant drum, ICC, don't toll for me. I walk free, BB and me. Nothing you can say or see stays my hand on any given, riven-driven, bloody day. We don't comp bodies, young or old. Many armies do, only what they're told. None but lawful, awful orders are executed, and that's precisely the news we've widely tooted. Hospitals, schools, apartment buildings, yes, they're eager and they're willing, just enough murder to keep it thrilling. You may ask, why hospitals and schools? Well, what do you take me for? Some kind of fool for rules? I've destroyed them all to take them out. To go ahead and stand there watching on the sidelines? You can even scream and shout. Civilized war? Well, what's that for? Don't make me laugh. Ask Ready, Steady, Isaac. Sometimes the baby gets cut in half. Should I wait till everybody's dead or the roof falls down on our heads? Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan says I'll charge this BB man. We'll see who's ready to execute the law. Some nations only complain of flaws. There's no arresting the likes of him. Why, if we did that, what's to become of Jim and Johnny? With his rocket so bright, he with his drone fleet light into the night, why, we'd have to accost Moscow. And the USA, well, after all, we've bills to pay. And if the UN's all broke up, who'll be around to fill the cup? Maybe justice is too great a cost, after all. What's 10,000 refugees, more or less? We'll stack 'em up and ignore the stench. Can't you forget it all? Just dig a trench? Oh, yeah, sure, morally the idea stinks. But if we don't look or while we're staring blink, the law's for you, not for me. Hey, I even wrote the law of the sea. It's just for dictators, not the thieving rich. Yeah, sure, you may proclaim me, name me, blame me like I'm some kind of son of a bitch. But I got my billions, I walk free. My only army's only answer to me. And occasionally, just for show, we'll present some charges, then we'll go. And then just as much as the law discharges. But it's like the cop on a dangerous beat. Sometimes only the innocent feel the heat. Just enough for law and order, or perhaps it's the season for a little forceful official disorder. But let me tell you, when it comes to nations and the flawless, faultless army of this brutal nation, we don't respect the rule of law. In the international court, we find a flaw. We just don't recognize the ICC. It's just not my favorite dessert, you see. You get it? The law's not there, as far as I can see. Besides, I got my army, so you can't get me. The ICC court, you see. Thank you. I'll wait for the second round to do my second piece.
Actually, we're one rounding it this tonight
Okay.
for
So
the
then
feature. So if you want a quick one, you go ahead.
Okie dokie. That's a one-pager. It's called in honor of the search for justice. Now it's terrorism. Delay, deny, defend, upend, my friend. Increased denials. Why, my dear, isn't life itself so dear a trial? We're only guessing. Are you so stressing? True, it's all about the doctor's choices that we're lessening. We got this to a science on our prophet's reliance, and you speak words of violence? I'm guessing. We'll ask our algorithm why its defiance seems to fly in the face of those who prefer to place their trust on the doctor's science. Yea, would rather not so quickly depend on his expensive opinion for their reliance on life extension. We just won't mention his often expensive option, and to us is just a caution. Would rather see your life extension as an option. Instead, it might be cheaper just to buy a coffin. Managed care is quite a bear. So please, my friends, watch for language. Delay, deny, defend, but who knows why. Let's quick disparage the medicos plan we spend almost 2 seconds, well, when we can, all to recognize and magnify the error in the doctor's plan. Sure, he claims it's life-giving, but instead our algorithm's surer and cheaper than that much is clear. Let's just look deeper. Go ahead, take our phalanx of attorneys into court. It's been done before, my friend. The judge will just snort. Wheel the patient right on in if he's still lingering on this side of death's door, so drag him in. So fast his gown is singeing. 90% denials. That's fine, but to deny us our profits would be a crime. Besides, if we dare to provide the care, at what price would we be buying some patient time or merely temporarily a bed for lying? Hard to bargain with AI. Tain't really got a law degree. Besides, he resides in Silicon. His answers speak for science. You can't blame the executive board or a capitalistic little old me. Sure, medicine's not his forte. Statistics or a linguistic playground you may parlay. Gee, your grandma's sick. So sorry. I guess maybe she'll have to come late to the party. 125,000 seems a lot to dip in our profit margin for one chemo shot. They say you'll need a course of these. It drives our CEO to his knees. Of course, Big Pharma wants its share. How else could they dare to nick our bottom line? But interestingly enough, all our lobbyists think it's fine. They're dancing the conga together on our bottom line, joined by all the regulators we've been romancing all along. And by the way, they all say it's fine. Go ahead, just get along. And when I say 25 grand a shot, I actually, Medicare paid 120 grand a shot for my chemo. So yeah, it's personal. Be well, friends. Be well.
Thank you, Richard. I'm just counting down until someone puts in a Luigi poem tonight. I don't know. I don't know. I know it's going to happen eventually. I just don't know when. True story. The night of voting, I actually was one of the last people to go because I got there like 7:30. I don't know how much of a violation this was, but people were so exhausted, no one cared. Outside, there was a family of, I believe, Latino voters with their kids. They were wearing MAGA hats, and they were dressed in overalls and red shirts to suggest Super Mario. And they were all taking their picture right outside the voting building. Which is to say, I wonder if the Luigi shooting is a way of the universe correcting itself. I don't know. Because I've seen more Luigi memes on Twitter than I care to admit. But I went to go... I searched for Trump supporters dressing up as Mario and found nothing. So I don't know. It's hard to make yourself a meme. You know, the meme makes you, I guess. But anyway, I know you can't force the Luigi poem, so I'll be patient. There's always 2025. Let's welcome up next Rita Rusty Rose.
Okay, but now we're going to swing the other way and read something for the holiday. I don't have anything, but we'll add Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and everything else. But this is a sonnet called Santa Sonnet. He comes in the wee of Christmas morn, when all are asleep and counting their sheep. Across rooftops and lawns, deer hooves and horns, frolic, pronk, and play, take one giant leap, and with a ho, 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 leading the way, his beard of white and cap of red crochet, Santa Claus rides on his magical sleigh, talking to reindeer in language of neigh. Then it's down the chimney on every block with a sack full of gifts for girls and boys, trucks, trains, dolls, smartphones, candy canes, and toys. All are stuffed in many colorful socks. Spreading love and joy goes on his way, vowing to return one more Christmas day.
Thanks for the holiday cheer. And up next, I'd like to welcome up Nike Truth.
Hello.
Hello to
Good
you.
evening, everyone. So, this poem has no title. My life has been char on the cast iron. My life has been mahogany. My life has been acetone nail polish remover. My life has been super magenta disco lights. My life has been loose rocks. My life has been honey. My life has been broken glass. My life has been teak cedar wood. My life has been crumpled paper. My life has been drenched in ink. My life has been molasses. Thank you.
My
Mm.
sympathies, because molasses in the wintertime sucks. But anyway, um, no viscosity. We will. Thank you so much, Nike. Good to have you back. Up next on the open mic, I'd like to bring up Mr. Mark States.
Ekphrastic poem. Just look at you, propped up in that bed of flowers, letting their sweet, sensual aromas and pheromonal nectars stimulate your senses in flashes. You recline in all natural and naked glory. Eyes drifting off to distant horizon, gazing at forever after, fixated upon warmth of sunlight, passion fruit of sky, epiphany of lust. With thumb on sternum, your open hand conceals nipple taut and willing, your fingers the mountain tops to the valleys of your rib cage. A solemn pledge you make over both heart and cross dangling from a whisper of a chain around your neck. One leg strategically placed to remove from view the budding of your legendary stamen, every pistol yearns. Just look at you, contemplating the next vision of Hallelujah, la la la, clasping the hands of an eager soul as both of you sweat and moan throughout an ethereal experience. I need to tell you something. Your Love Sexy album is that perfect intermingling of spirituality and sexuality, the profound and the profane. I have gained so much poetic inspiration from it. When I lived in a studio apartment, my stereo was on top of my dresser. And one night, I played that Love Sexy album, as usual, propping the album cover at base of dresser. Two maintenance contractors came by the next morning to work on the apartment door. Yet they spent more time peeking over at your unashamed naked body, pointing and whispering, turning their heads to give me sheepish glances, than get their work done. I do not know if they even knew who you were, if they thought I had carelessly left out gay porn. Would they start a scandalous rumor in the building? All I know is after they left. I played your song Controversy. My questions and discomfort drifted away.
Nice one, sir.
Thank you.
Up next, let's bring up Jan Rowe from the Black Seed Writers Group and longtime Stone Soup stable.
Thank you. Um, Actually, I was on the train to this week's writing group, and I noticed that I hadn't read the weekly for December 10th. So James's poem caused me to write this. This is very rough. I did a better copy for the next weekly. And he titled it Finally. Netanyahu finally on trial. His wife yells to the Zionist IOF, the IDF, the Israeli Occupying Force or Defense Force. She yells, "Do you know how I was treated in the USA?" I think she was referring to the standing ovations that the paid off Congress gets all that money from them stood. She wasn't talking about the treatment at the hotel where they managed to get the fire alarm to go off for a half hour. And then on their breakfast table, plenty of mealworms and maggots. Thank you.
Nicely done, Jan. Gotta bring up some people I usually, at least one person I usually reserve for the end of an open mic. I'm gonna bring him up a little earlier. Having said that, let's welcome up next Mr. Rich Boucher. Boucher.
Hey, Chad. Hey, everybody. Thank you very much. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
Okay, good. All right. So this poem is called Wherever There's Ochre. Many have claimed that dreams are wasted time, but I don't like the many. I like the few. I wake up with large, new muscles occasionally from dreaming real hard about trying to escape a murderer or someone whose grammar I corrected in public. I wake up reeking of filth occasionally because an alley to run into where there's garbage to hide behind is one way that God or fate provides. When you go to sleep, you're putting an awful lot of trust in the idea that you'll be the same person when you wake up. Case in point, I dreamed so vividly once about Van Gogh that I woke up missing an ear, but also with a newfound appreciation for whatever's cerulean, whatever can be verdigris, wherever there's ochre. Can you trust my dreams? I don't know how to answer that. I dreamed of you so hard once that I woke up with your hair in my mouth, and when I looked out the window, I was suddenly the next-door neighbor to a graveyard full of pregnancy tests. I dreamed of you so hard that I woke up with a pair of your panties clutched in my hand, and they were still warm and damp, and I don't know if these are tears of joy or what. I dreamed of you so hard once that I woke up feeling your cramps and totally sympathizing with every complaint you have about me. It's probably against the law for me to say anything like that. I know it's against the law to be bored by someone else's dream. Would you like to know something that I really mean? It should also be against the law to tell a stranger to let that sink in. That kind of arrogance makes me Gacy, makes me Bundy for real. When someone tells me that or memes that at me, I get ready to fight. I'm so ready to chingasso a fool. Relax. The language of love is full of violence, just in case you've never heard of Valentine's Day. I dreamed so long I had time to learn Spanish and become so fluent in it, that I could sueño and or gritar my way out of a multa de apacamiento as if I wasn't crecido enough to handle my debris. They call it awake because awake is what we leave behind. We're not paying you to stand around and dream, said the manager of the stinky red retail store where I worked until I quit, moments before I launched into a roundhouse kick that sent him slow-mo into the next world. And he was bleeding long before my intelligent foot made contact with his jaw. I gave up on following my dreams. But you can follow them if you want. Tell them I said hello. Which brings me to what I forgot to tell you. Sometime in the third or fourth hour of last night's dream, an old man in his mid to late 80s stopped me in an aisle at the neighborhood supermarket and thanked me for wearing a white shirt and tie. He told me that he was probably a dinosaur for missing the time when men wore white shirts and ties, and I told him he surely wasn't, and that I longed for the return of those days also. He seemed on the verge of tears with happiness at how I was dressed. He clapped me on the shoulder and thanked me, and I hugged him and kissed him on his cheek the way you are supposed to when you have French in your blood. And we stood there and embraced like that for 4 minutes, while a camera mounted on a dolly revolved around us, catching all this love while the music on the PA switched from whatever Pink sings to the ink spots. Sudden realizations sound like needles scratching loudly on circular vinyl. A lot of us are circular. No way around it. Make of that and him and me what you will. As best as I can figure, by the end of the dream, circumstances provided that I was pedaling as fast as I could on a 1985 BMX bicycle, and the bedsheets got snagged up in the chain and gears of the bike, causing tension strong enough to rubber band launch me up and off the bed. I woke up airborne, in the posture of a bike rider, and my blurry eyes only just caught at the last moment that I was sailing towards the wall before I slammed into it. And that's why my back hurts. Thanks for listening.
Nice job, Rich. Wow. Gonna bring it over. Reminding everyone that if you want to take part in the open mic, especially if you're here for the first time, just put it into the chat. Um, let's go now to Mr. Robert Fleming.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet from Lewis, Delaware, and I'm going to share a current graphic series that I'm currently working on. It is a human skull. The image on the upper left here is the original, and I've made about 12 different edits to the image. The one right below it is called a tracer edit, which converts your image to all black and white, and then you have to select the level of white versus black. Right below it here is another edit called voxel art, which makes your image look like Legos. And on the right here, this trippy filter makes your image look psychedelic and frequently like an impressionistic painting. You're starting to see the impressionistic effect on this skull on the top. The multicolored skull looks. And then you go right below it and you see I've added on top of the trippy another filter called liquefy, which distorts the body, and it gives it a surrealistic effect. Right below it is slice minced, which takes your image and adds some cut-ups and sort of obscures it. And then after I go through my individual studies, I put them all. I usually pick out the best ones and make larger images of those. So these were the ones which I thought were the best for the skulls. I liked the voxel art, which is the Lego, and I gave it a black background. And then the one on the right is the sliced minced. I liked it. I'd say only about 5% of the time does Slice produce a good image. And there's a magazine called Humana Obscura, which I will submit this to, see if they have interest in that. And then the image, which was originally trippy, which is psychedelic, I further edited that to be black and white. And it reminds me of the Terminator skull, the scene where Arnold removes his eye and you see what his skull looks like. The last image turned out to be, anybody see the movie Species? The woman from an alien. It sort of looks like her. So I'm pretty much done with this series, and I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do with it. But thank you for letting me share my work on the human skull. And happy holidays to one and all.
Thank you so much, Robert. And catch his work next week, almost all next week, as Oddball Magazine starts the Christmas Wars segment. There's still time to submit to this. You have until midnight on January. You have till midnight on December 22nd. And we already have some newcomers. And yeah, that means I'll be posting on Christmas Day too. Sometimes I don't know better, but this is we have some amazing pieces this year, and I want to give them their due. And I do appreciate Robert for coming through with graphics, not just for the Christmas Wars, but for Halloween's Halloween's Horror-thon week back in October. Up next, let us welcome up Mr. Bill Lewis. Whoops. There he is.
Ho, 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 ho. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. All right, now, got to get that out of the old system there, you know? A little bit of ha, ha, hawing and ho, ho, hoing. I begin by reading you a poem of a madman, someone who is not made for this world, who should be sent to the 14th level of hell. This man has lost his sense. Do not ever buy anything by this maniac. Listen to this dribble that he writes. Like Africanized bees, plutonium nuclei jitter and buzz in an ICBM warhead. This global suicide machine is madness. But then again, so too is love. In spring, a young man's mind turns to Minutemen silos and a lake with a cooling tower figure that catches his fancy. Oh, darling, open your blast-proof doors. Enrich the uranium of my heart. Your eyes are like two reactor pools of Chenerkov blue. All the cadmium rods in Hanford couldn't cool my ardor for you. Just the thought of your velvet touch makes me launch on warning. Oh, God, that is so crude. That is just disgustingly sexual. That, I mean, do not buy this book. Do not read the book. Stay away from this man. Do not do what I did. Oh, and now something from yours truly. Oh, I had a good day. I love Wednesday. I have class. I love my students. We have fun. The snow comes, it turns into slush, whatever. A white dawn, snow sparkling in the morning sun, rooster crowing, trees swaying. All the sweetness, light. I revel in the morning's glory. The chickens, the dog, the cat, the horses, even the crows cawing above. What wonderful white world we have. And then the warm front. And wind and rain and mud, lots of mud and mud and mud and mud. I am so proud of myself, clever, indeed, perhaps in foresight, because I have purchased myself a boot scraper. Take that, mud.
I never thought a Santa cap would be too tight around one's head until now. Thank you, Bill. Let us let's keep going with Mr. Jeff Taylor of the Garage Poets of the Controverse Open Mic in Malden, and so much more.
Hey, thanks, Chad. Um, I'm just getting my notebook. Hang on one second, sorry.
Okay, we can help you for that. With that, please hold while I transfer you to someone who can help you with that. Here we go.
All right, yeah, no, here I go. All right, so this poem is called Instant Karma Car Bomb. Yeah, here we go. Someone looking televised but vaguely clipboard knocked at my car window, asking to scrub my language. Afraid my phonetics had taken up wrestling, sounding more like turnbuckles and pile drivers than the more well-known consonants and vowels. I wrote everything I intended to say. Fire engine, breakfast. Is that a grenade or a lanyard? Turn left. Violets. Try this for your diamonds. The cover of violins in the silhouette of a candlestick. The frequency of formulation caused me to pull the car over, the composition decomposing into an interior monologue. Angry hair, pungent, poignant, shifted dove cannon, driftwood pedestal, deviated handshake, instant karma car bomb. Before I found the curb, the cameras were rolling like they found their orbit. When they handed me a script, I instinctively read the lines as if I had waited years for this moment to appear like a lost key in my pocket. The final act was all blank pages, but I knew I was expected to say something. I said what I thought he needed me to hear, but maybe it was me who needed to hear it. Pour kerosene on the comment section, burn the internet, charred and hollow like the brick and mortar of our wide eyes. Let the flames train an AI poet to construct a romantic dirge, a found poem pieced together on clipboards strewn across the sidewalk of our insulted intelligence. We'll all learn the words. It will be our common language. It will be our way home. That's it.
I heard the mic drop. I knew. But thank you so much, Jeff. You can just
Thanks.
feel the mic drop with you.
Yeah, if you're around the Malden, Massachusetts area, this coming Monday we have Controverse open mic at 7 p.m. at 145 Pleasant Street in Malden, which is the Malden Public Access TV channel. So it gets recorded and will go out onto the cable audience and up onto our YouTube. But yeah, we've got TJ Reynolds is the feature. He's great spoken word artist. So yeah, come and check out and read your poem and come and see TJ.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks.
And up next, let's go to Mr. Bob Reeves.
Hi. 2 poems from November. First one addressed to my partner who can't be with us tonight. The morning after Trump's reelection. Connoisseur of your own tears, you said to me, I seem to be grieving. Strange to grieve for a country. I said, no, it wasn't. Not making the connection that one grieves for a dead person or thing, and all around us living continued. The silence of the last morning dark, followed by truck after truck, delivering whatever workaday goods to near and far. People near and far who had offered themselves on red-soaked altars to a starving idol, and done it smiling, congratulating, only thinking life would go on and be different from death. And you knew, and your tears knew the truth. And this other one is called Sharing the Planet. We had climbed the steep hill in Port Orchard, going exquisitely slowly. The day had become warm, and I'd removed and was carrying my hoodie. We'd located the official building where the nice elections person helped me release my rejected ballot by replacing my decayed scrawl of a signature with something legible. For some reason, I needed to do this, though it was 2 days after that misery of an election, and my votes weren't going to change a damn thing. Excuse me. We were redescending the hill via some stone stairs that smelt of sun and November leaves. A man passed us going up, totally garbed and masked in scarlet, with Trump and MAGA written all over him. I hadn't got much of a look at the scuttling lobster-like creature we were sharing the planet with in a new prehistoric era, but my partner was more than a little freaked. Why'd he have to wear a mask? I said. Dressed like that, would it matter who he was? In a way, his vote, his presence in the world, hadn't counted either. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. And now I'd like to go to a poet with a certain brand new book of science poems, and the author of many, many other things. His book is also out from Alien Buddha Press. Let's welcome up Mr. John Wizik.
Oh, thank you, Chad. Tonight I thought I'd share a little bit of Christmas cheer with you. This poem is called Santa Busted for Child Pornography. After Cinderella wore that White Lives Matter t-shirt, is it any wonder her fairy godmother marched with a tiki torch while shouting, Jews will not replace us? You can't trust anyone. Dr. Doolittle doses rhesus monkeys with pesticides, and Sherlock Holmes demands the Central Park Five get the electric chair even after evidence exonerated them. The problems go far beyond Sleeping Beauty's shoplifting, the Three Little Pigs' gambling addiction, and the White Rabbit's cocaine use. I'm talking Pinocchio's sexual assaults and Snow White's hostile work environment. I'm talking Dr. Zhivago working for Big Tobacco. Disillusionment steamrolls everyone I believed in. Mr. Smith went to Washington and took PAC money. Prince Charming harasses female gamers online. Rapunzel says the Holocaust never happened. Goldilocks mocks her fans. Bob Cratchit beats his wife. Paul Bunyan claims sunspots cause climate change. Lancelot alleges Democrats are in a pedophile wing. The Wizard of Oz's Dorothy says vaccines cause autism. Little Red Riding Hood slapped Chris Rock. A2, Thumbelina.
Very nice. Keep my mama's big eyes out of your mouth. Okay, very nice, Mr. Wezek. And with the with everyone having stated whether that they wanted to read, I think we only have one person left to close out this open mic. You have 30 seconds to say no, wait, me. But failing that, let's go now to our ultimate closer. I'm talking about Mr. James Van Looy. Check out his column tomorrow at 11 o'clock at oddballmagazine.com. It's all one thing. And if you haven't yet, consider submitting to the Christmas Wars. Deadline is Sunday at midnight. And there's also another announcements I'll be reminding you of or posting for the first time for the new year. So by all means, keep abreast of that, and let's all listen to James right now.
Hi. So I've got a poem here called Anniversary Trip Top Shelf. Anniversary Trip Top Shelf. On the top floor of the Prince Bishop's Castle, we could look down into the courtyard as we stood next to these huge wood arches, these gigantic quarter turns of tree. Must be 1,000 years old already when they were cut and sawed in slices so thick they could hold up a castle ceiling, even though the one actually has this massive imperfection whorl, a giant knot exactly where the span needs to be strongest, where stress stops and digs in to concentrate force field of weight and gravity and perpetual fall of everything human and planned. And there we are, in the Prince Bishops, this secular, spiritual, cultural bind, ducking our heads at those wooden arches to look down into the castle courtyard at a succession of April-May weddings. And here's a song for you. I stand at your gate, and the song that I sing is of moonlight. I stand and I wait for the touch of your hand in the June night. The roses are sighing a moonlight serenade. The stars are aglow, and tonight how their light sets me dreaming. My love, do you know that your eyes are like stars brightly gleaming? I bring you, I sing you a moonlight serenade. Let us stray till break of day in love's valley of dreams. Just you and I, a summer sky, a heavenly breeze, kissing the trees. So don't Let me wait, come to me tenderly in the June night. I stand at your gate, and I sing you a song in the moonlight, a love song, my darling. A moonlight serenade. Thank you. That, of course, was Glenn Miller. That was Glenn Miller's big hit for Glenn Miller. Thank you.
Thank you, James. As I said earlier, it looks like this might be the last gathering of 2024 for Stone Soup. If there's anything, I'm not doing anything on Christmas week, but if there's anything going on before New Year's, I will let you know. We're figuring that out, the family and I. And plus, everyone's probably going to be either exhausted or drunk or both on New Year's Day. So who's going to want to do a poetry reading?
I will. Yes, drunk poetry rocks, man. I will come. Who else will come? Who wants to come for drunken poetry?
Yeah, but the thing is, Bill keeps supplying you the drinks, and he has the camera rolling. But anyway, we'll table that for now. We do have features to announce in January. I know that Jennifer Martelli has already confirmed, and will be announcing her date later this week. More will be happening as people get back to me. I'm just going to mention this quickly. I am featuring this Friday as part of the Friends of Poetry series with Tom Daly. Anyone who knows or follows Tom Daly knows that he keeps the group on a tight leash as far as sharing Zoom links. So if anyone's interested in attending this, I'm reading from my two new releases, Can't Republic and All's Well Isn't You, and hopefully some secret works I have up on my Patreon, stuff I haven't read anywhere. So if you're interested, let me know. Drop me a line privately or do it via Facebook Messenger, and I'll gladly share you the link. Tom Daly does not post the link directly on Facebook. He is very, 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 very wary of Zoom bombers. So if you're interested, it's a tight group. It's a group largely composed of half of people who have been part of the Friends of Poetry group since Ron Goba was hosting it, and another half of people who have been taking the workshops with Tom Daly, local Cambridge poet, for decades now. And if you've ever heard his work, you know he runs a tight workshop ship, and he is responsible for a lot of people, coming out with their strongest works, especially when their first books come out. So that's all that is, Jeff. And so that's all for now. And we're going to go to our featured poet tonight, BeYouT, the much delayed but so satisfactory, so satisfying feature. My words are coming out incredibly wrong. I actually posted something for Oddball Magazine. It was supposed to be poem by Jeff Dietrich, and I was so freaking tired. I wrote "Happy Birthday, Jeff Dietrich," and of course it published. And I'm like, why the fuck did I write that? So why did I do that? And you can still, if you don't believe me, it's still on Twitter under that post title. I'm just like, good Christ. So forget my words, except for the words I'm about to read, which are the poet's boilerplate for her much very anticipated feature. And the boilerplate reads as such. BeYouT, pronounced beauty, well, duh, is a poet who was born and raised in the suburbs of Boston. She has been writing since she was given her first journal at the age of 9 years old. In 2012, she was introduced to spoken word and has been writing and performing off and on ever since. She is a survivor of domestic violence and sexual abuse and has also experienced great loss. She is a passionate poet who writes from a place of personal healing. She is a survivor. and she has survived. She has survived a rougher 2024 than most people, even most people here have. So I salute her for being able to do this feature. I would have gladly put it off until January or February, but I'm so glad she's here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together 40, 50 times for the unbeatable surviving beauty. Who will hopefully unmute. Give me one sec. Here we go. Let's help her out here. There you are.
How's that?
Yes.
Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction. And it's great to be here. I am sorry for missing the last opportunity to meet with all of you, but it has been a rough year, but I'm still here. And I hope that you enjoy this evening. I'm going to do a couple of my poems that I've written over the years. The first one is called Beauty. It basically tells you a little bit about myself and where I got the name. Who am I? I am beautiful brown eyes that will search the depths of your soul, find that piece of you untouched by hurt, pain, or deception, and wrap my heart around it, make you feel loved, appreciated, whole. I am full lips, whispering I love you, yelling I want yous, speaking to your heart, so sweet, so low, tempting you to meet me. Meet me at the sweet spot between heaven and divine, taking a ride that you will never want to get off. I am intelligence, taking your mind on a sapiosexual journey to the sublime, like fine wine that has matured over time and been sipped, gulped, absorbed, leaving you questioning why. Where have you been all my life? Beauty. I am she is me. We are one and the same, tattered by time, with a spirit that continues to grow, to love, to cry, to scream that I am a poet. I am here and I am love. My mother named me Sylvia. Poetry named me Beauty. So I will go on to the next one. The name is Title Unknown. And I wrote this one more recently. It was March of this year at the Lizard Lounge. And it goes like this. I am a book with pages that have yet to be turned. I am a book with pages that have yet to be turned, paragraphs upon paragraphs of wisdom, pain, joy, and love. A bestseller. Yes, I said it. With accolades upon accolades of people who have had the book in their hands. They have opened me. They have read me line by line. They have caressed the passages I have explained over and over that have fallen on deaf ears. They have seen pain and loss endured by the shell that stands before them. And before the story ends, I am stained by dirty hands, not worthy of the tale that unfolds. No bookmark to be found, no attention paid to where the reader left off, not important. Forgotten, left behind, lost, and then found once again. Ignored as I sit on a shelf high above the pedestal where I once resided. Pages torn, cover exposed, damp from tears that form the bindings of chapters upon chapters of loss and betrayal, of self, of love, of the ability to know love, of you and you and you. Until once again, I am on the shelf to be perused and judged. Is my worth enough for you to turn past the epilogue of my story? The title is unknown. I have a couple of more here. The next one, I wrote for my mother who passed in 2016. And it's called She Doesn't Know Me. Her eyes drawn and sunken in where there once was light. Her hands, once so elegant, they were dancer's hands. Her legs thin and dry, they once danced, first as a ballerina, then as a soul-trained dancer. Her voice, that was once boisterous and loud, filling rooms wherever she went with stories of old, now a memory I wish to play over and over. She doesn't know me. She does not remember her only daughter. Her mind now shut down to protect herself from the pain and confusion she is experiencing, the loss. I would love to hear her say, "It's Mumsy" once again, a name created years ago when I would call her on the phone with my horrible British accent. She would laugh and laugh. Her laughter, boy, she loved to laugh. At me, for me, to me. She is my mother. One of a kind, a different kind. She did the best she could, raising a daughter in the 1960s, single mom, 22 years old, Black, or was she Negro or colored then? With 3 siblings and an ailing mother. With 3 siblings and an ailing mother, will you ever come back to me before the final trip to Nirvana? Where there is no pain, no anger, no anxiety, or broken hearts, where there is no depression. You know, Mom, I know you better than you do. Her thoughts wrapped in miles and miles of relentless vines, suffocating your bliss, your joy, not wanting to face a world where doorknobs are the size of the sun, blistering to the touch. You have been burnt too many times, more than anyone can count. 1, 2, 3. The 3 musketeers were you, your little sister, and I, wandering and learning day to day, this thing called life. And now you're on a journey of your own. I can't help you on this trip you have taken, but I will be here waiting with open arms, tears of joy, and stories of old, just like you have told so many times. Thank you. Another one that I've written is called Alabaster. I wrote this one after I had heard a song that mentioned alabaster. For some reason, I stuck with the word. So I wrote a few different poems about it, but this one is a really short one. And then again, it is called Alabaster. It says, she is made of alabaster. The beauty she creates wafts from her fingertips into the air, landing gently, oh, so gently in the hearts of those she cherishes. She is delicate, yet stronger than titanium, soft to the touch. But you must be careful. Hold on to her too tightly and she will suffocate, wither, and disappear into the night air. Her journey to a place where she can replenish, repair, be whole, to be found only if and when she desires. She is fire and ebony, with eyes that glisten like the morning sun that greets you after a night of thunder and rain. Her heartbeat, the pulse of the city where she dwells. She is the city. All of this, yet more. She is beauty. She is kindness. She is what the universe has needed all along, peace and love. But you cannot place a label upon her. She will never truly be defined. She is ever changing like the seasons, her colors deep and rich and smell of plumeria, reminding you once again that she is delicate yet stronger than titanium. She is alabaster. Thanks. I'd like to do another one. This one I wrote many, many years ago. During actually a class that I'd taken on poetry. And it's called Dragonfly. You are sentenced to 20 years in maximum state prison. No chance for parole. These words changed her life forever. She watched them remove her only daughter from the courtroom. Tears falling from her eyes, a pain in her heart that would never be replaced. Her body numb from the realization that the next time she will see her face, bars will separate them, keeping her from bringing her precious gem back home. Where did I go wrong? What could I have done differently? These questions fall on deaf ears.
Okay.
Did I love her too much? Maybe not enough. Was it the crowd she hung with? Questions running through her mind at a rapid pace. The force of her thoughts causing the blood in her veins to race. Breathing becomes difficult. She hears her name in the distance, but will not respond. She has escaped to a place where there is no time, no judgment, no pain, where she can hold her daughter in her arms forever. Remembering the first steps, the first words, the school play where she played the dragonfly, soaring across the stage. The first time her heart was broken by that boy. What was his name again? The first time she took candy from the convenience store, the first time she called an elder out their name. The pain returns, the sadness lingers, and she returns to the courtroom the last time she saw her daughter free. Like that dragonfly. The days pass by so slowly, tinged by the sadness that is her alarm clock. She is searching for the remnants of her life before her daughter was taken from her. The dragonfly. Thank you. Oh, the pressure. This is great. I want to thank you all again for being here tonight and for the opportunity to read for you. The poetry that I've heard this evening has been amazing. So it's nice to be amongst you all. The next one that I want to read was a painful poem. I married quickly to a person that I loved very much. But it turns out that things did not work out as well as I had hoped. And one of the reasons was this woman that I wrote about her. The poem is called "And Then There Was Carla." Tears and pain, that's all I have left now. The once optimistic and trust-regaining woman has left the building. I have offered myself on a silver gilded platter, but you wanted copper. An empty womb hoping to be filled with promises made in the past, promises of love, adoration, trust, safety, and companionship till death do us part, now lay shattered at my feet in an odd pile of abandonment. A heart put back in its cage to be poked and made a fool of once again, dried and withered, almost like dust. Like a phoenix, I will rise again and blaze my name across someone's mind, someone deserving, someone true. But for now, I stand here battered and bruised, licking my wounds that have been opened once again by deceit. No longer do I bleed, though. It's more like a lake. Clear, salty water, yet scattered debris lays at the bottom. Memories of the ones who said, it will never happen again. And I'm sorry I lied. And she means nothing to me. I want only you. I guess it is a good thing there is no drain in sight where the broken and disheveled pieces of loneliness can gather. If that were to happen, would the tears overflow or stay stagnant, choking the last I love you from the throat filled with glass? Will I be a woman who chokes from the wretched odor that rises off of the pillow where you once laid your head? Or will I be the one to fall into the abyss, which was once the depth of your love? Did you really ever love me? Does it really matter anymore? I loved you well. I loved you deeply. I regained my faith and trust in you. And then there was Carla. Interesting how this name is the one that will change my future so drastically. A pretty yet common name. Is divorce an option now? Thank you. Next one I'd like to read is another short one. It's called A Cup of Tea. Delicious. That is what I call the chamomile tea that you brought me. It is also the word I use to describe you. 6'1", cafe au lait, abs for days. I will kiss those abs tonight. Man of music, the perfect soundtrack for this evening prepared. I want this. I want you. You have reignited the desire in me that has been dampened by the past. Is that bone china? I thought so. Taste, swagger, and body. Damn. As he crawls toward me upon the floor, my mind spins, my focus skewed. But when you kissed me, it all became clear. Damn, you are perfection, and I will get to touch, feel, kiss every inch of you. Delicious. I have, let's see, next one is called My Thoughts Are Muddy. Another short one. I put some short ones aside for tonight so I could get variety in here. This one is called My Thoughts Are Muddy. 3:30 in the morning. I've yet to shut my eyes. You are on my mind. In my mind, around my mind, under, over, running through my mind. Your touch, moving along this bruised and battered skin, but you find a way to soothe it, mold it into you in a way that makes the tears that have formed in my eyes feel like a waterfall. Cool and refreshing. Your voice, at times with the timbre of a bass saxophone, soothing, sweet, and low, is the answer to every question that I have yearned to hear. Your hands touching, squeezing, stroking, tying, choking, caressing my body, caressing me. I am, will be, must be, have to be yours. I know it is written in the stars in some small and significant way to the naked eye, but to me, it is screaming from the mountaintops. We belong together. Yet, as I inhale and exhale my way through another day, your touch, your voice, those hands remain wrapped around my beating heart that I can no longer hear. I can no longer hear. It's 3:35 in the morning. So I have another one. It's in a different book. This one was written many years ago. Let's see. It is called I. Really brief and simple. It's one of my longer ones, but not too long. Again, it's called I. Today, I need to clear my mind. Put all the hurt and pain behind me. Me is she, and she is I. Climbing out of the darkness through my third eye, a place untouched by judgment and lies, fortified by the divine. Essence of truth, deep as the Nile, light as a feather, heavy as a sigh. My eyes have seen the effects of pride. On the spirit, the heart, humility aside. The heart knows what it knows. I abide. By this notion, this belief, I carry inside. Me is she and she is I. Freeing the change, watching me fly into the universe, the eternal pie, of which I consume. It is a part of my history, a mystery based on fear, ebbing and flowing. Please let me hear the song of my ancestors, the rhythm, the bass. My body, it winds and dances in bliss. My mind, it opens, it takes in all of this that is true and full of tears that are his and hers from years of silence amidst the noise of the streets, away from the quiet of our homeland. I miss the sounds, the smells, the laughs, the cries, the feeling of hope that life denies. To those who are full, no space left for dreams, because this true being has been ripped at the seams. Me is she, and she is I. And all of my life I have questioned why. Is there sorrow, pain, and an inability to cry? To the core, my true self, of which I cannot deny. The weight that has been placed on my hips and my thighs that were once held open without my consent. Me is she, and she is I, being pulled back together by the universe. Oh, I pray to be whole. I pray to be wise. I pray to be humble, no longer a disguise, but the true essence of time, healing all wounds and setting me free. I sing a new tune to be carried on the wind, seared by the sun, washed by the waves. I have truly begun my journey to whole, my feet planted steady. Stepping into this frame, I am finally ready. Me is she, and she is I, a butterfly, an angel, a conundrum, the sky. The next poem is called Freedom. My soul wishes to dip its toes in the spring that is your sorrow. My eyes wish to see all that is unseen by the heart. My ears wish to hear the song that is your anger being disguised as as a symphony of pain from your past. Sing for me, sing of me. Write a tune that can only be heard by one open to your essence, your being. You are deeper than you appear. I see you. I feel you. I am you. The bass to your rhythm, the ebb to your flow. Where will all this go? Do not ask any questions. Just let us be. Wandering through this, which will be our afterlife. Hold my hand, hold my heart. It is yours. My soul has dipped its toes in the spring that is your sorrow, and I am free. The next one is called Thank You, Universe. Thank you, universe, for my highs and my lows, for all of my fingers and toes, for my family and friends, for love that never ends, for those near and far, for my sisters, you know who you are, for the hurt and the pain, for the clouds and the rain, for my patches and Sean. This list could go on, but although my heart, which has the capacity to know love to no end, has been broken and superglued and taped and hammered back together, but feels weak and delicate. A 30 that once was a 50, I am humbled by the blessings that have come my way. Truly humbled. Truly, truly humbled and numb. I miss my ancestors, the lineage that makes me who I am, from every dimple and scar to the ability to make a joy full of hearts. I come from a line of warrior women who worked their fingers to the bone, literally and figuratively, and loved until their heart could no longer go on. No longer. No longer. No, 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 no. Thank you, universe, for the ability to use my words instead of my fists, to use my pain to help others to heal, to recognize when I have no more to give to myself or to others. I am so tired, but thank you. I have one more left. Thank you. If I still have some time. This last one was actually written for a dear friend of mine who most of you know. He was a very close friend, my person. And I wrote this actually at a memorial that we had for him a couple of months ago. His name was Lucci. And the poem is called His Name Was Lucci. His name was Lucci. Loving, unique, creative, comforting, infinite. He was an acronym. And he was my best friend, my bestie, my person. Our friendship did not know time. We would talk to, excuse me, we would talk to each other for hours about everything, about nothing. We didn't know distance. Well, I was living in Hawaii, Illinois, and even back in Malden. It didn't know circumstance. I knew that he was there for me anytime, any place, and he knew the same. He was my anchor when when I needed to be tethered, whether it was due to sadness, joy, or confusion. We were there for each other. I really want to be here for you right now, today, in this place filled with people from near and far. Near and far. You are so far away, but forever in my heart. I love you. His name is Lucci. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for allowing me to share my craft with all of you. Thank you.
Give it up. 50, 60 more times, your hands together, virtually, otherwise, for Beauty, one of the many poets who I'm trying to get here to Stone Soup, either whether it's for a return for a long, for the first time in a long time, or for people featuring here for the first time ever. You'll be seeing more of that in 2025. And Beauty, you mentioned collections and books. Do you have any available?
I have not put together a book yet. I plan to soon because I have many more writings that I could probably put together and put in book form. But no, I don't have anything currently. Right now, they're just written down in various books and pieces of paper and scraps of paper. As we all know, as people who love to write, it ends up on napkins and
I
all
hear you.
different sorts of things. And that's what I have right now.
Well, I
But
hope you
thank
come
you for
back. I
asking.
hope you come back to us one day, virtual podium, or if we ever do make it out into the open again in a Boston location. Please let us know if a book ever does see the light, because I'm sure a lot of us would love to grab it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And
I will.
I hope you pass on your Venmo and or PayPal account for anyone who wants to donate,
Oh,
um, if you so wish. And
sure.
I'm so glad you're still with us. I know you had a rough couple of months, and I'm glad you're here and ready to celebrate the holidays as Well, as best as anyone can. Has anyone written a poetry collection on a paper towel roll? I'm sure someone has. I'm sure they're all. I'm sure they're all Charles Bukowski. Thank you for the question, John Wesick.
Thank you so
But
much.
actually, it'd be more of a Henry Darger thing. But anyway, let's thank one more time to Beauty, and hopefully you'll come back to us. If not a feature, then come back at the open mic. We would love to hear from you again, just as I want to hear from everyone else who read at the open mic tonight. Wonderful reading, and hope to have more of our old friends and more people, more staples of the Boston poetry scene back. Stone Soup has kind of gone international with the Zoom thing, but I do want to give more attention to the local poets in 2025. Oh, stop it, Bill! You're from Idaho. You live in Idaho now. The hell with you. Anyway, we are. We are. I'm looking. We are. We are going to go in full force again in 2025, and I hope you guys are all around for that. There is a chance of one more gathering before the New Year's. I'll let you know when that is, if that happens. If not, then I will see you after New Year's. Jennifer Martelli's feature will be announced, and hopefully more people will be announced as well. Thanks to everyone, and good luck with your books and your enterprises, and good luck with your holiday travel or your holiday inertia. I envy that in you. Either stay where you are, or go out there and meet your loved ones, or hide from your loved ones. Or do all three. And check out the Christmas Wars. Submit if you can. Check out oddballmagazine.com, which will have the details, and I'll be posting another link to that tomorrow on the Stone Soup Facebook page. And there's more submission opportunities coming from Vagabond Press and Patricia Kerrigan, who says hi. Jason Wright is probably going to be creating another column or another opportunity to submit. He says hi. He was not able to join us today. He's in transit, but hopefully he will join us again in 2025. He wishes you all well. And with that, nothing to do but have the last wave for the last formal gathering with feature of 2024. Let's see what 2025 brings us, aside from absolute existential horror. Thank you guys very much for all your work this year, and all your attendance and all your featuring. For those of you who did feature, and for all those of you who were stalwart attendees, thank you for that as well. Even multiple attendees for the single year, so thank you for that as well. And for the future features, keep joining us. More will be happening. And I wish you a good night, happy holidays, however you celebrate, and we will meet again. Thanks to all, and good night.
Night.